Well, okay then. There we go. Corbin Burnes heading to the Diamondbacks. 6 years, $210 million. I mean, listen, everybody. I'm wrong a lot, okay? I'm wrong on a lot of things a lot of the times. But anytime I do come up with any kind of a prediction or any thought I do think about it pretty hard. And this one I did think about last week. I had a video. You can go check out the video if you want to. I came out with a video not too long ago, not even a week ago. Could these shocking MLB offseason moves happen? And I talked about Corbin Burnes, and I said, listen, this market is not moving for him. You know, the Giants were involved. The Blue Jays were involved. The Red Sox were involved, right? You know, you got a lot of, just nothing happening, right? You know, things were at a standstill when it came to Corbin Burnes. You know, you had just nothing happening, right? Max Fried, he went on an 8-year deal to the Yankees. People were thinking Corbin Burnes was going to be the guy that comes off the board first, and then all of a sudden Fried's going to the Yankees. The more Burnes stayed on the market, I thought to myself, this guy lives in Arizona. He's not going to the Giants. He's not going to the Blue Jays, right? The Giants, he grew up in California. Well, he's not going there yet, so what's going on there? The Blue Jays, probably throwing a ton of money at him. Well, he's not biting in that either. The Red Sox, they don't want to pay anyone, so that wasn't happening. You know, the Dodgers there, they got Blake Snell. The Padres, they weren't doing anything. The Angels, well, who wants to go to the Angels? Artie Moreno doesn't like paying pitchers anyway. So I started thinking to myself, I mean, listen, the Diamondbacks, they just did this last offseason, right? They came out of nowhere for Jordan Montgomery. I mean, who had the Diamondbacks for Jordan Montgomery last offseason? I don't think anyone did. They came out of nowhere. So I'm thinking if there's one team that maybe could surprise some people for Corbin Burnes, it's the team that plays where he lives in Arizona. And there you go. And I'm like, my goodness, I actually got something right. For once, I got something right. Now, he wasn't in my pre-off-season predictions for free agents. So I thought the Mets would maybe step up and get a deal done. In the end, he goes to the Diamondbacks. I can't believe it. I got something right, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Racino's, you're saying no one saw this one coming. Well, about 5 days ago, I thought maybe this could happen. So there we go. But listen, I like the move. You know, if he likes what's going on there, and he gets the option to stay close to home, I like that a lot. I think that's a really nice situation for him. I got to see the terms. So it's opt out after the second year. Again, Mark, thank you for that. A couple other people are putting that in the chat as well. Yeah. But, I mean, you got to see what the money looks like. Is there anyone else that's kind of, I'm sure, let's see, John Heyman, as he put it out here. Okay, so Heyman opt out after the 2 years. So I guess I just want to see what the money looks like after. What's it going to look like after that second year? Well, Fangraphs, I think Fangraphs, they are sound asleep right now. They're cuddling up with their pillows right now. I don't know if we're going to see an update on this payroll. Well, actually, aren't they on the West Coast? Maybe we'll see an update here. But listen, I love this move. Not just because I actually got something right for once, but I actually like this for the Diamondbacks. Okay, they did update this. Okay, sorry, Fangraphs. I take back what I just said. You are not cuddling your pillows as we speak. That is very nice. And, it's funny because this is a year before Zach Gallen becomes a free agent. And so, I don't know. Does that pretty much take the Diamondbacks out of Zach Gallen at this point? I guess they could. They could still try and work something out with him. But, hey, you never know. But if Zach Gallen does end up going elsewhere next offseason, well, now you got Corbin Burnes in the fold for a while. I mean, you got a very good-looking rotation here, man. You got Burnes, you got Gallen. I mean, Erod, let's see what Erod looks like after just a lost season, pretty much. I would imagine he's going to be a little bit better. You still got Merrill Kelly here. You still got Ryan Nelson. You got almost Red Sox legend Jordan Montgomery. I'm kidding. He should not be included in this conversation. Jordan Montgomery, I think he needs to go elsewhere. But if he ends up staying, you have a lot of good depth. I mean, holy cow. You have Burns, Gallen, Kelly, Erod. I'm going to say maybe not Montgomery at this point because the owner just doesn't even want him around. That's another thing, too. That's another thing to point out here. The owner he signed off on, Erod last year, Jordan Montgomery last year. And hey, he has no problem signing off on pitching. And that was another thing that I mentioned going back to the video that I did about like 4 or 5 days ago. The one thing the Diamondbacks have done consistently over the years, they are the opposite of the Angels. Artie Moreno and the Angels, they don't like signing big-time pitchers. They don't like the long-term commitments for pitchers. The Diamondbacks do this all the time. Go back to Zach Greinke. I mean, you can even go back to Randy Johnson. I don't think the current Diamondbacks owner was the owner back then. He might have been involved with the Diamondbacks. But anyway, you can go that far back. They did Randy Johnson. Then you did Zach Greinke back in, 2015? You did Madison Bumgarner. You did Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery last offseason. They always sign off on these big pitcher contracts, right? But I love this move. I think this is great. No one saw this coming. Except me a few days ago. I think this just makes a lot of sense all the way around. I think this is a win-win, man. And the Diamondbacks, I feel like people have, in a way, almost kind of forgotten about them, at least this offseason, right? The Dodgers have been making all those moves, right? And who knows, maybe even Roki Sasaki here in a little bit. The Giants, bringing in Willy Adames. I feel like the Diamondbacks, sure, they got Josh Naylor, but, he was replacing Christian Walker, really. So you hadn't really made any moves to get better necessarily. And now you're adding a guy. I mean, what a 1-2 punch. This is arguably, I think you could say this could be, I think there's an argument at least to be the best 1-2 punch in baseball. Corbin, Burns, and Gallen, man. That is really good. And then, your fourth starter is Eduardo Rodriguez or Merrill Kelly, however that shakes out. And that's incredibly deep, man. Dang. I mean, honestly, I almost kind of want them to keep Jordan Montgomery just so he can try and have a bounce-back season. And he would be your fifth starter. Imagine if you got Jordan Montgomery from a couple of years ago as your fifth starter. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. What does Bob Nightingale got for us? Bob Nightingale, what does he got? Let's take a look-see. I can't believe I'm live at almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not even kidding. I was about to go to sleep, and here we are. Okay, Bob Nightingale. Previous record contract, 6. Yeah, Zach Greinke again. Corbin Burns opt out after the 2 years. Let's see if Fangraphs, if they've updated the payroll. Let's see here. Okay. I mean, honestly, I mean, like I said, this is a great situation, but I think this is a very nice situation for Corbin Burns. You got to think here, after a couple of years, he's going to be 32. Is he going to want to opt out at that point? I mean, he was still. I don't know. I think that's a good question to ask right now. Will he opt out after the 2 years? Let's say he is pitching very well. Let's say he keeps doing what he's doing for the next couple of years. Is he going to opt out? I mean, maybe you could see a situation where he opts out looking for an extra year or two, possibly. But you got to think he's going to be 32 at that time. I mean, he's getting paid $35 million per year. I don't know, man. I think I could see him sticking out this entire contract. I mean, who knows? I mean, you never know the way with how money's going right now with Major League Baseball. I mean, contracts are through the roof at this point. I mean, who knows? Maybe he ends up opting out. But right now, this really looks like at least he should give it some pause when that happens, right? Depending on, another thing to consider too. What are the Diamondbacks going to be looking like in a couple of years? I'm sure they're still going to look pretty strong. I mean, I don't know. I think this could end up being a tough decision for Corbin Burns. Usually with these opt-outs that we've been getting, a lot of them look like just obvious no-brainer. Yeah, they're going to opt out of that deal, right? But this one, I think he's going to contemplate it, at least. I see you in the chat here. Eric, prospect hoarding Orioles are cooked. I mean, I can't believe the Orioles didn't do this. I mean, what are they thinking? I mean, what are the Orioles doing this offseason? Listen, I like Tyler O'Neill, Red Sox legend, but I mean, Tomoyuki Sagano, okay, that's fine. But what the heck are we doing? I mean, yeah, I get it. Maybe Jackson Holiday finally emerges this coming year. I mean, you got some options in the rotation. I mean, it's not a bad rotation, but man, I just feel like they could have brought him back here, especially with the payroll flexibility. I mean, look at this. Your highest paid player, well, at least this coming year, is Zach Eflin. I mean, come on. He's a free agent after this year. I get it. Maybe they got to worry about some of these long-term deals for Gunnar Henderson, Kowser, Westberg, Holiday. I would imagine at some point is going to, he's going to live up to those expectations, right? So you do have to start worrying about those extensions at some point. But man, oh man, it would have been really nice for the Orioles to do something here. But in the end, the Diamondbacks, they reap all the benefits. I think this is great, man. This is awesome. Look out for the Diamondbacks here. They're, the Dodgers, I think at this point, it's safe to say they're going to be running away, with that division. I mean, I think that division just belongs to the Dodgers at this point. Who knows? Crazy things can happen. Everyone, we got over 700 people in this chat. Can you help us get to 200 likes? Is that possible? Help us out. But, yeah, I mean, Dodgers, yeah, I think you got to still call them the favorite for the West. But for a wild card spot, the Diamondbacks, I mean, they just fell short of it. It took right until the, last game of the year for them to get pretty much knocked out. Listen, you just added another guy like Burns, got Gallen alongside him. You got depth in this rotation. I'd like for them to add something to this bullpen. That's just me. I like Justin Martinez. I like AJ Puck, but I want them to add something for more for the back end. A veteran guy that you can count on just in case anything happens with Justin Martinez and AJ Puck. I like AJ Puck as a setup guy. Justin Martinez, he's got nasty stuff, but, he's very young. He walks a lot of guys, so I'm not sure, how that's going to end up panning out. At the very least, I would like for them to add a veteran at the back end, just someone that you can hand the ball to. He's been there, done that. I think Kirby Yates makes a lot of sense, not too far from, where he was this past year. He obviously had a great year with the Rangers. I would like for them to add someone like Kirby Yates, at least someone like a David Robertson, someone that you can be okay with handing the ball to in any situation, whether that's setup or closing. I think that'd make a lot of sense, man. Mike Mann 88, Kirby is a Ranger. I mean, yeah, for sure. Had a great year. I mean, just like with Teoscar, right? Why fix what's not broke? I mean, Kirby Yates, he should stay with the Rangers, right? The Rangers should do what they can to keep him around. But I think if there's another team out there that could maybe go for it, I think the Diamondbacks would be very nice. Could you see the Diamondbacks maybe make a play for Ryan Helsley? They did just spend a lot of money here for Corbin Burns, so maybe they go the trade route. I could see something like that. Ryan Helsley, I believe, is going to be making under $10 million this coming year. Look out for Ryan Helsley. Maybe that could be a possibility. The Diamondbacks, they got some pretty decent prospects. They could make something happen here. Really like this. You kept the lineup intact for the most part. Yeah, losing Christian Walker, that stinks, but at least you got some power with Josh Naylor here.